Good morning and welcome to the Adventures of Alison Wonderland. If you've not been here before, my name's Alison, and if you're one of my regular subscribers, then welcome back. This video is going to be my monthly look at what Kindle books are available and what I bought this month. Obviously there are thousands that come up every month at 99p. I go through them all and I choose the ones that I'd really like to read, and then I let you know in case you'd like to read them too. Just want to mention I am trying to get my curls back again after a good few months of straightening and using heat on my hair again. It's in a terrible state. It's really dry, so I thought that I'd try and get the curls back again, but I am at that stage at the minute where it does not want to behave, doesn't want to play fair, and it's kind of a fuzzy 80s do. So yeah, please excuse that. I'm hoping that it will get more nourished and better as time goes on. If you've got any tips or any top products that are budget friendly products, yeah, please do let me know below. So the deals this month, oh, I was so excited when I started looking through and I spotted a couple that were on my list, on my the list of my wish list, my Amazon wish list. They've been on there for a long time. First one is The House in the Cerulean Sea. Now that's really difficult for me to say as a Doctor Who fan because I always want to say Silurian. So The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I've wanted this book for ages. I keep hearing that it's absolutely fantastic, that it's a really good fairy tale for grown-ups, and finally this is on at 99p, so I can give it a read. So I'm just going to read you the synopsis now. So this starts: he expected nothing, but they gave him everything. Linus Baker leads a quiet life at 40. He has a tiny house and a devious cat and his beloved records for company. At the department in charge of magical youth, he's spent many dull years monitoring their orphanages. Then one day Linus is summoned by extremely upper management and given a highly classified assignment. He must travel to an orphanage where 6 dangerous children reside, including the Antichrist. There, Linus must somehow determine if they could bring on the end of days. But their guardian, charming and enigmatic Arthur Parnassus, will do anything to protect his wards. As Arthur and Linus grow ever closer, Linus must choose between duty and his dreams. So this has had rave reviews all over YouTube and Instagram, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one, and I was really excited to see it come up on the list. So next we've got another one that's been on my list of wanting to read for a little while, and that's 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. So yeah, this is a retelling, as far as I'm aware, this is a retelling of, is it called The 6 Princesses, where they go off at night and go into another world? I think it's a retelling of that. So I'm just going to put my glasses on and read you a bit of the blurb. But I know it's had some good reviews. So, of The 6 Swans. So it's a retelling of the Grimm brothers fairy tale, The 6 Swans. So it's a dazzling fairy tale of breathtaking storytelling. So Shiori Anma, the only princess of Kyoto, has a secret. Forbidden magic runs in her veins, and on the morning of her betrothal ceremony, Shiori loses control. At first, her mistakes seem like a stroke of luck, forestalling the wedding she never wanted, but it also catches the attention of Raikama, her stepmother. A sorceress in her own right, Raikama banishes the young princess, turning her brothers into cranes and warning Shiori that she must speak of it to no one, for with every word that escapes her lips, one of her brothers will die. Penniless, voiceless and alone, Shiori searches for her brothers and uncovers a dark conspiracy to seize the throne. Only Shiori can set the kingdom to rights, but to do so she must place her trust in a paper bird, a mercurial dragon, and the very boy she fought so hard not to marry. And she must embrace the magic she's been taught all her life to contain, no matter what the cost. That sounds quite exciting, doesn't it? So yeah, I do vaguely remember this story now, where the brothers are turned into swans, the original story. Brothers are turned into swans and all the rest of it. So yeah, really looking forward to that one too. I was really excited to find that one on the 99p list. Now the next book that I bought, I actually have seen the movie of this book. I wanted to read it to see whether it's similar, the same. Absolutely love this movie, seen it multiple times. And this is called The Giver, and it's by Lois Lowry. So I don't know whether you've seen it. It's kind of a dystopian thing. I'm not sure where it comes in the run of things, whether it came before them or after them, but it's kind of similar to Divergent, The Hunger Games, it's that kind of genre, and it's something that I really enjoyed. I love those kind of films. So yeah, I wanted to read the book. So again, I'll read you a little bit of the blurb so you can see generally what it's about. So it says that it's been turned into a motion picture with Jeff Bridges, Meryl Streep, Katie Holmes and Taylor Swift. So it's the future. There is no war, no hunger, no pain. No one in the community wants anything. Everything needed is provided, and at 12 years old, each member of the community has their profession carefully chosen for them by the committee of elders. 12-year-old Jonas has never thought there was anything wrong in this world, but from the moment he's selected as the receiver of memory, Jonas discovers that their community is not as perfect as it seems. It's only with the help of the giver that Jonas can find out what has been lost, and it's only through his personal courage that Jonas finds the strength to do what's right. The Giver is an award-winning classic of bravery and adventure that has inspired countless dystopian writers as the forerunners of this genre. So the Giver is basically the only person in this place where they live that has the memories of how life used to be, basically how we're living now. So there's only ever one person, everybody else is protected and shielded from this. So the Giver is getting older now. It's his turn to pass on those memories to the next receiver, what they're calling the receiver, which is Jonas. So yeah, that it goes through the whole thing of him receiving these memories and what he does with that afterwards. It's a good movie. If you don't want to read the book, the movie is well worth a watch. So next we've got A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison. Now I've got on the Kindle Deals, quite often when the Kindle Deals come up, or if I go to charity shops, I will collect books that I know that I want to read the series of, but they're often in the wrong order. So I've already got, which one is it? A Tangle of Spells. I've already got A Tangle of Spells, which is further, but A Pinch of Magic is the first one in this series. So when I saw this come up at 99p, I grabbed hold of that. So this is a middle grade series. These are middle grade books. And it's the Widdowson sisters, Betty, Fliss and Charlie, are trapped, preventing them from leaving their home in Crowston by an ancient family curse. When they inherit 3 magical objects with the power to change their fate, adventure beckons. But are they being led into even greater danger? Join the Widdowson sisters and break the family curse in the first Pinch of Magic adventure, and it was shortlisted for the 2020 British Book Awards. The ones that come on after are A Sprinkle of Sorcery, A Tangle of Spells and A Storm of Sisters. So yeah, really looking forward to reading that one. It's another one that obviously I've wanted for a while because I had got the Tangle of Spells and I wanted the one that goes before it. So the next one is it's kind of a true life book. It's a book, it's told in story form, but it's a true life book, and it is called, sorry, I've got my notes down here, A Simple Life by Mary Jane Holton. Now I have already started reading this, so it's basically about a couple that have decided to go off grid. They want to live off grid. They've been travelling around for a little while in a caravan and on a boat they're from the UK, they're from Wales, and they've been travelling between there and France and around. The pandemic hit and they had to lock down somewhere. They had to decide either England or France, so they decided France. But to do that, they had to be residents, so they had to buy somewhere. So basically what they ended up buying was a cabin in some woodland, just absolute cabin, no running water, no inside toilet. It's literally just one room, and this is their story. There's a little bit touched on a little bit of lockdown because obviously it did impact their life at the time and what they were able to do and where they were able to go. So it's a little bit about life in France, it's a little bit about lockdown in France, and it's a lot about their journey in off-grid living and how they did up the place, you know, things that they did. They basically deciding to keep it. They've not gone for all mod cons in an off-grid house. They're keeping it quite basic. So it's a really interesting read. I'm about halfway through it so far, and it's nice. Ultimately, off-grid living, a cabin in the woods, is something that I would really want. You know, that would be my retirement plan. If I could afford it, it would be my now plan. So yeah, for me it's really interesting. I'm really enjoying reading it and reading about their story, because you can pick up hints and tips and basically things that you don't want to do. as well as the things that you might want to do. So yeah, it's a really interesting read. So if that kind of thing floats your boat, then yeah, I would pick this one up. Now the next one is The Twisted Tree by Rachel Burge, and I actually don't have the information about this. I didn't prepare it because I put this on my don't want to buy it kind of list, and at the last minute yesterday I was like, yeah, actually I do want to buy that. So from what I understand, I think it's a middle grade, it might be a YA, and it's kind of a spooky tale, and it's based on I think it was Nordic myth, Nordic legend, and it's kind of a spooky tale. And the reason I wasn't going to buy it is because, you know, it's summertime, but I decided that I do want to buy it and like save it for spooky season, because I do like a spooky book. I don't like a terrifying, scary book. So spooky middle grades are about my level. So yeah, I bought it for that. So I'm really looking forward to getting down to that one. It does look a nice book, and as you can see by the cover, it does look very spooky. Now I do have another one that's on my shall I buy it, shall I not list. I haven't bought it yet, but I think that by the end of the month I will have bought it, and that's The Vanishing of Audrey Wilde by Eve Chase. Now the reason I haven't bought it is I do already have 2 Eve Chase books that I haven't read yet. So whilst I really like the premise of the books and I like the look of them and I've heard good things about them, I haven't actually read any of the books that I've got yet. So I don't know whether I like her style of writing, so I haven't bought it yet. So what I might do is, because the books are a little bit spooky, I'm kind of trying to save them for later in the year. But what I might do is just read the first chapter of one of them, see if I like the writing style. And if I do, I shall go for The Vanishing of Audrey Wilde as well. So a little bit of the synopsis of this one. When 4 sisters arrive at Applecote Manor to spend the summer. They're spending the summer, so could I say that that's a summer book? Maybe. All is clearly not well. They find their aunt and uncle still reeling from the disappearance of their only daughter 5 years before. No one seems any closer to finding out the truth. Why did Audrey vanish? Who is keeping her fate secret? All the sisters are lured into the mystery of their missing cousin, and the stifling summer takes a shocking, deadly turn. One which will leave blood on their hands and put another girl in danger decades later. Do you know what? I reckon that I could persuade myself that that's a nice summer mystery read and get it for the summer instead. What do you reckon? So those are all of the books that I've actually bought, but there's just a few others that I've got already. I've either already read or I've got them ready to read that I just wanted to mention. So the first one is this one, The Well-Gardened Mind by Sue Stuart Smith. Now this is not a fiction book, this is a factual book. It's really, really well worth the read. It's all about returning to nature, why it's important to get out in nature and see greenery. And it's told by this person that's had all this experience, and she's actually worked with prisoners and seen the good it does for prisoners to have like a little garden where they can grow their own food and everything, and how it can rehabilitate. She's worked in some really rough districts and helped to rehabilitate the young people there by giving them gardens and things to grow in. She also references Freud and his love of being outside, and the fact that as he was getting older and he was getting sick, that he actually had his bed taken outside so he could be in the garden. It's very, very well proven that being outside, being in the garden, being around nature is really good for the soul. And it picks up on things like some scientific facts as well. It's written in a very digestible way. It's not hard going. You know, like the human brain is designed to pick up green, and that's the soothing colour, and it's designed to pick out green. That's why a lot of us, especially if you're in cities, we crave green, we crave time in the countryside, and because the human brain is just wired that way. So yeah, it's a really, really good read. It's also got I'll just give you a little look inside. It's got a lot of reference pictures as well. It shows you also them building their own garden. This shows you a little bit about the soldiers in the war, and even the soldiers in the trenches made these tiny little gardens to tend, because it's human nature that it's very calming to grow and tend flowers, greenery, vegetables, things like that. Also pictures of, you know, how it's good for people that are in hospital, that are in beds, that can't really do a lot else, to, you know, take their beds outside. So yeah, this is a really, really good book to read. It's really interesting, I've found. I mean, I'm interested, having been a hypnotherapist and interested in human behaviour. I knew that even in my work, the way that I wanted to go was the green route. I often prescribed, if you want to use that word, for people just get outside, get into nature, spend time sitting in nature, because it's just so good for the soul. So yeah, that's what this book's basically about, that. The next one is this one, Hamlet by Maggie O'Farrell. This is a story about, I'm guessing it's mostly fictional, but it's basically based on William Shakespeare's family, his wife and his son Hamlet. He's barely in it. It's not really about him. It's more about his wife and her life and who she is, and about his children. And I was going to say something, but I think that will give you a spoil. I mean, it's something that most people know. I will say most people know that his son Hamlet did die. So it's about the story leading up to that point, and being able to overcome that grief as well. And it was brilliant. I struggled at the beginning, just the pace was very fast. It felt like it was written by someone with ADHD. It seemed very skippy, but once my brain, because I have got tendencies of ADHD myself, so once my brain caught up and kind of got into that pace, it was fantastic. I loved it. It was a brilliant book. I really enjoyed it. Next one is The Winter Witch by Paula Braxton. Now, I read this one first. I've read quite a few of Paula Braxton's books because I basically read this one on Kindle many, many years ago and loved it so much that I asked my mum for the whole set of about, I think there's 4 or 5 books for Christmas. So I've read the others now as well. But out of them, this was the one that I enjoyed the most. So this one's on at 99p at the moment. And this one is, wild places make wild people, but only some have magic blood. There are those with frozen hearts whose souls know only winter. They would drive me from my home. It will not do. Really, it will not. In her small Welsh town, there's no one quite like Morgana. Her silence and the magic she can't control makes her a magnet for ill rumour. When she marries a widower from the far hills, Morgana feels freedom for the first time in her life. But a dark force soon challenges her happiness, and determined to defend her name, her love and herself from all corners, Morgana must learn to harness her powers or risk losing everything. Let the Winter Witch sweep you back in time to a wuthering place where magic is as nimble as a heart is strong. I really enjoyed this one. I love Wales, I love witches, and this has got both, and it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it, so that one's well worth the read as well. So the next couple, I think I've mentioned before in previous videos, but they are up again. So the first one is The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman. I read this last month. It is part of the Practical Magic series. This is the one that talks about, if you've read the book or seen the movie Practical Magic, the aunts Frances and Jet. This is the one that talks about their life, their growing up, their teenage years, and how all that went. So just read it you quickly. In this sparkling prequel, we meet the aunts from Practical Magic, sisters Frances and Jet, and Vincent, their brother. From the beginning, their mother Susanna knew they were unique. Franny, with her skin as pale as milk and blood-red hair, who would commune with birds. Jet, as shy as she is beautiful, who knows what others are thinking. And Vincent is so charismatic that he was built for trouble. Susanna needs to set some rules of magic. No walking in the moonlight, no red shoes, no wearing black, no cats, no crows, no candles, and certainly, absolutely no books about magic. So I read Practical Magic, I read The Rules of Magic, and I've just read Magic Lessons, which is going right the way back to the beginning. I've just got one more book to read in this series, which I'm really looking forward to. I absolutely love this series of books. They're really good, they're witchy, they're historical, and they're just really well written. I'm really enjoying them. Next one, The Travelling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arakawa. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, I've got this one as well. I had this one for a while. I'm going to read it over the summer. So Nana is on a road trip, but he's not sure where he's going. All that matters is that he can sit beside his beloved owner, Satoru, in the front of his silver van. Satoru is keen to visit 3 old friends from his youth, though Nana doesn't know why, and Satoru won't say. Set against the backdrop of Japan's changing seasons and narrated with rare gentleness and humour, Nana's story explores the wonder and thrill of life's unexpected detours. It is about the value of friendship and solitude and knowing when to give and when to take. At the heart of this book is a powerful message about the importance of kindness, and it shows above all how acts of love, both great and small, can transform lives. So yeah, this has been on my list for a little while, and I will read this one over the summer. And the last one is The Strawberry Thief by Joanne Harris. Now, I've had this for a while. I started reading it thinking it was a standalone book. I don't know how I didn't know what it was, and I started reading it, got a couple of chapters through, and it didn't make sense to me until I realised that this is the 4th book in the Chocolat series. Now again, watched the movie Chocolat, absolutely loved it, and now I've read the book. Last month I read the book. So working my way through now over the last few months, I've been able to pick up all of the books, all 4 books, on the Kindle 99p Deals, and so I've got them now sat there in order to read. So I've just read Chocolat, and I will go on to the second, third one, and eventually this one, The Strawberry Thief. So yeah, this one's worth picking up as well if you like Chocolat. And again, a kind of a witchy magical theme. We've got a bit of a theme running here of witchy magical books at the moment. So yeah, they're the things, I mean, I've always been into them, but they're the things that I'm kind of gravitating towards at the moment. So that's all of my books and Kindle deals this month. I hope you enjoyed listening to that, and I hope that you found something in there that you might like to pick up as well. It's always really difficult when the books come out. If you don't want to trawl through, it's much easier, I always find. Personally, I find it's easier if I can find someone online that says, yeah, I really liked this book, this sounds interesting, and I'll be like, yeah, right, I quite like the sound of that too. So hopefully that's what I'm achieving here for you. If you've read any of these books already, or if any of them do sound like they're your kind of thing, please do comment below. Let's have a chat about it. I always love to hear from you. Let's get a conversation going, because I'm really wanting to build up this community now. As a sort of, a group of friends. Because it's very book based, it would be really nice to build us all up together as a group of friends. So I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.